Cartoon characters are very unique in the perspective that they all come in quite literally all different shapes and sizes. From Tigger, from Winnie the Pooh, to Comic Book Guy, to The Simpsons. Did you know that there are actually quite a few, maybe not so famous, but I would say semi-famous cartoon characters that were based off of real life people? Yeah, I was only able to find like 3 of them, but rest assured, these are real. And I'll leave the sources at the end of the video and in the link in the description. But I was honestly quite surprised when I found out about that. That being said, can you subscribe and like the video so it lets me know what kind of videos you guys enjoy watching? Cause I really do enjoy doing this. Let's get started with number fucking 3. We all love the Muppets.
Dad,
what's a Muppet? God, iconic creativity, R.I.P. Jim Henson. Jim Henson was cool, dude. He was like the Stan Lee of the puppet universe. R.I.P. Stan Lee as well. But damn, man, Fozzie the Bear was probably among one of my favorite Muppet characters. Second to Kermit, of course, you know. But did you know that Fozzie the Bear was actually based off of a real person? And as you probably may have guessed, based off a comedian, much so that matches his character. Although I will say, the original backstory and thought behind Fozzie's character was a little depressing, to say the least. Originally, they wanted Fozzie to be a pathetic comedian, much like a lot of the pathetic comedians you see on TV that are more annoying than funny. However, they thought this would be too overly cruel for Fozzie, considering that the 2 old puppet characters, excuse me, I don't know their names, but I'm just gonna say, you know who I'm talking about, these characters, they thought that them laughing at Fozzie on top of his horrible performance was just so depressing to the point where it was more depressing than funny. So they decided to pump up Fozzie with way more confidence, and that gave us the bear we all know and love today. Although I will say he's gone through a lot of design changes to a bit of questionable ones, but either way, God, Disney's, it's kind of dragging the Muppets name in the mud right now, but hopefully they can make it out good. As long as they don't add any shitty new characters, I think we're good. Not only that, I didn't even mention who Fozzie was based off of. He was based off of a comedian. Comic Book Guy from The Simpsons! You know, you're probably sick of me bringing up The Simpsons every time. But I can't help it, man. On top of that, I love how the character, Comic Book Guy, never had an official name. At least, it wasn't known until recently that it was like Jeffrey something. I don't know how the fuck I remember that shit. But honestly, the point is, right? Would you believe me if I said that Comic Book Guy, the character from The Simpsons, a show known for their wide variety and array of characters, to be based off a real person? Because he is. According to a TV writer named Eva Anderson, they claim that Comic Book Guy was based on a real person named John Bryan King, who worked at the Amok bookstore in Los Angeles, which opened back in 1987. 2 years before The Simpsons would even premiere. He says, quote, "I met him a few times and he worked at the bookstore," she began. He has a website and stuff, but he was the one who was eating fried clams when the Simpsons writers came over to the store. So I can only imagine the fucking smell in there. It smells like fucking Lizzo opened her legs and shit. Sorry, I'm sorry. I can't name any other like fat celebrity. The point is, right, Anderson's story apparently links up nicely with the one told by Simpsons writer George Meyer, who has been with the show since its earliest days. So what the fuck did I just read? Is it based off the same character or not? Or is it like 2 different characters? He said back in the year 2000, he was sitting on the high stool, kind of lording over the store with that supercilious, come on now, attitude, and eating behind the counter a big styrofoam container full of fried clams with a lot of tartar sauce. Oh. However, Simpsons creator Matt Groening has says that when people come up with him saying they know who Comic Book Guy is based on, he often disappoints them, saying, quote, "I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me saying, I know who you base Comic Book Guy on. It's that comic book guy right down the block." And I have to tell them, no, it's every comic book guy in America. Adam, I see you, Matt Groening. Can't never let them know your next move. Remember that shit? The rest is really just useless information. Shout out to Metro. This is very useless news when you think about it, but cool within the context. On top of the fact that, you know, I just told you that Fozzie was based off of a real person. I mean, crazy how cartoon characters to fucking puppets can be based off reality. I guess reality is kind of like a cartoon in a way, ain't it? At what point does fantasy become fantasy? I mean, the future holds endless possibilities. Just fucked your mind up. Anyways, let's move on to number. What's going on this one? South Park was edginess. Back when I was a kid, my cousin and sister, older sister obviously, used to love and watch South Park religiously. By the time I was 18 years old, I started watching Family Guy completely, then transitioned from Family Guy to South Park. And I cannot fucking believe I ever thought this once, but I used to always wonder, once I was halfway through Family Guy, I was like, why is South Park rated MA, whereas Family Guy's rated TV-14? And then first I bought the South Park game. Park is edginess #1. And one of the main characters is Kenny, a young kid who wears an orange hoodie jacket that muffles his voice. Iconic. Even if you've never even seen South Park, you've at least seen this character. But would you believe me if I said that he too was also based on a real character? Yeah. Trey Parker said in a 2000 interview, 4 years after the original premiere of South Park, that Kenny was based off of a friend of his growing up during childhood that wore an orange parka that made it very hard to hear him. Or really just muffled his voice. Not only that, but his name was too also Kenny. Thankfully though, I don't think this Kenny died, though he would skip school a lot, leading to jokes from his other classmates that he died. It's kind of weird. Anyways, still pretty cool though. I wonder if he knows and is a fan of the show today. Then again, he does die in every episode, so I mean, like, that isn't that the joke? I don't know, man. Who would have thought so? Guys, I guess we can all learn a thing or two from here. Even though these characters may be in the realm of fantasy and technically may not exist in real life, they don't have to be. Because the creators of those cartoon characters can just think in their head and remember a certain somebody that can inspire the character. So y'all out there, if you're fucking with some dweebish, weirdo, artsy kid, you better stop. Because when he grows up and makes a cartoon, best case scenario, he might just make you the villain. I don't know. I always thought that was so interesting. Anyways, throw me a like if you made this far. I really do appreciate that because I don't know, you guys watch past the minute mark. Yeah, I can't wait to make more videos. See you guys next time.